So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Finally, I am driving a Ford Everest, yet alone a little bit of a special one. So before I continue, I want to give a big shout out again to Makati Ford and Mrs. C for allowing me to review this 2020 Ford Everest trend model. This model has already been phased out, but this is probably the last one that will be put on sale here in Metro Manila. And it's a fresh unit. I'll get onto the details later. So I want to give thanks to Makati Ford again for allowing me to review this Ford Everest and this Ford Ranger FX4 that I drove earlier. If you want to see the review of this, the link of this will be the pinned comment down below. And going back to the Everest, I've always loved the look of the Everest. Yes, it may be a bit old now, but it aged like a fine wine. But I really dig the look of the Everest Sport. That kind of like is a FX4 plus a Ford Everest. Yes, this used to be the base variant of the Ford Everest. Yes, a simple looking SUV. It's a chunky and curvy design. As you can see, it is big, but it's not as long as that on the Ford Ranger, on which it is based on. Being the 10 model, you have a lot of chrome here, silver trims here and there. And then going to the side, simple design. And yes, being the 2020 model and the base variant, this still uses the 2.2 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Actually, that is the same in the Ford Ranger FX4 and XLT, by the way. Yeah, going back here in the front, yeah, it's a simple design. Even have a massive chrome grille here with the big Ford logo, like all Ford models. And here, these are all halogen lights and fog lamps, but there's an LED DRL here. And ground clearance of this is 225 millimeters. That is a lot, by the way. That's a bit less only than the Ford Ranger FX4. Now I want to know if it drives almost the same as that on which it is based on. And also, to my surprise, let's start here in the boot. I have the key with me. I was expecting a base variant to not have this feature. This has kick to open, if it works. But as I said, being a base variant, this has an electronic tailgate. There, with the seats up, you have 249 liters of space. So enough for a bags like this, soft bags. And then if you fold the seats down, this is where the similarities begin with the current Ford Everest Sport. This does not have the electronic fold for the third row. This one you have to do it manually. I don't know how to pull it down manually actually. You have to pull this to fold the third row. It's dead easy. So either with the electronic fold or manual fold, I'm happy with it. And now with the seats down, you have 1050 liters of space. As you can see, the space already increased. And now with the seats down, you have 2010 liters of space. I think this is one of the best in class. And folding the second row down, it's also one of the easiest. Just pull a lever, the seats will fold down flat. As you can see, that is very flat. And then here in the third row, there's only cubby space here on the left side, and then there's one 12-volt socket. And there's a light here on the right side. Also, before I forget, wading depth of this is similar to the Ranger FX4 that I drove. It's 800 millimeters. So with that, I will show you the interior. This is a bit weird format. The tailgate's kind of slow, but at least there is. So powering the 2020 Ford Everest 10. It's the same in the Ford Ranger FX4 and XLT models. It's a 2.2 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine that produces 158 horsepower and 385 Newton meters of torque. Being the same engine, I'm expecting it to drive like the Rangers with the 2.2 diesel engine, by the way. So yeah, we're kind of excited. I never driven an Everest before. Before we have a drive, I will walk you around to the interior first. So this is the interior of the Ford Everest trend. It's quite hot. Let's start the engine up. This is the key. Summer is here. So, I wonder how this door tab sounds like. Oh, whoops! That sounds exactly the same as the Ranger. I think this one's a bit better, but it's very similar. Whoop, lower that down a bit. Despite being the base Everest model at its time, I was expecting like the Ranger XLT from the Ranger FX4. This is still leather. I was expecting fabric here, plastic here, and fabric seats, so on and so forth. No, these are still leather seats. They're a bit more on the durable side, but it's still nice to know a base model has leather here and there. It even has black stitching here on the dashboard. I must say, I think this is almost exactly the same as the Ranger XLT, the interior. The steering wheel though, this one's better. I mean, it's leather. I think it's almost as good as the Ranger FX4. Still nice to the touch, very soft. And here in the door card, yeah, there's plastic here and there with the silver trims here and the goldish trim for the door handle. But the leather, like in the Ranger FX4 I drove earlier, the leather is here. Just the small part of it's leather, but it's fine. And there's even the stitching here. And then here you have a bottle holder that doesn't fit my water jar. No, it does. In the back, sorry. So you have a bottle holder and a cubby space on each side of the door. And then here on the left side, very similar with the Rangers, you have adjustments for your lights here, and then some cruise control functions here, and then your electronic tailgate button. And then here on the left side of the steering wheel, you have your cruise control functions, their main one, and your speed limiter here. And then on the right side, you have adjustments here for your infotainment system. I know this is an 8-inch touchscreen. It is somewhat the same. This is already a Ford Sync 3, almost same in the Ford XLT. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Okay, it is crisp enough. Yeah, not much to play here. Yeah, as you can see, the sync support, Apple CarPlay. I know there's Android Auto, but it's not here for some reason. You have your climate control. I like this layout of the climate control. And since we're here, let's try the reverse camera. Not sure if you can see that. It's kind of dark in the camera. So it is fine. You can zoom in. Okay, that's nice. It may not be the best out there, but at least there is. Then here in your digital cluster, you have your analog speedometer there in the middle. And then you can adjust more here on the left side if you want. There's your tachometer. It's digital as well. And then here on the right side, not much to play here on the right side, or I'm not familiar with it, sorry. Going here in the center console, like as I said in the Ranger, almost exactly the same layout. I know there's supposed to be a light here around the USB port. Then you have a cubby space here, enough for my phone, one USB port, one 12-volt socket, exactly the same. And then weirdly, you have a lot of blank buttons here. I'm not sure if top of the line models have functioning buttons here, but there is one here for your electronic stability control. Weird cubby space here, nice gear lever, lapped in red with stitching. You have your manual handbrake here, and like in the Ranger, you have two cup holders with grips on them, perfect for your motor jug, but now there's a gold trim around it. And then central glove box, you have still leather, by the way. Open it. You have an extra storage here, adjustable if you, and you can remove it if you want. Okay, that is really deep. You can fit a lot of stuff there. You have a lot of goldish trim. I cannot tell, silver gold trim, but it still gives it a premium feel. And then glove box, that is a lot. And then above here you have microphones. I don't know what for, probably for your infotainment system, like for Google or Android Auto. Sunglasses holder, then two lights here, and then visor with vanity mirror. This kind of visor, it's kind of big though. Alright, they extend. I never knew that. Weirdly, this does that, but not in the Ranger. Here in your mirror, you have an auto dimming function. So that's probably here in front. I'll show you the second row. So here in the second row of the Ford Everest stand, try the door tud. So good. Few toys here for your air conditioning controls. The vents are on the ceiling, by the way, right here. And then one 12-volt socket. Let's slow it down so you can hear me. Oh, this controls not only for the second row, as you can see, as well as on the third row, but the third row's air cons are somewhat in the middle compared to the here in the second row. Seat pockets, they're short and narrow. I mean, like, that's how much you can fit in the seat pockets. They're quite small. And then same as in front, there's a weird cubby space here. Then you have a bottle holders on each side of the door. That's pretty much it. Same materials with the in front with the door card. Chrome trim here, gold for the door handle, more silver trim here, just soft touch here with the white stitching or black stitching, I can't tell. So space here in the back, that's already my driving position, feet room, leg room, that's so spacious, and then headroom. I have just enough. I mean, like 5-6 inches, it's enough for me. I'm 5'4" by the way. And then you have a central armrest here in the middle. The cup holders aren't here, so there's enough space for your arms. And these are the cup holders, pop up. That's cool. And now if I sit here in the middle, the transmission tunnel is really wide by the way, and not that tall, like around 5 inches. If I sit here in the middle, yeah, it may be wide, but you can put your feet up at least. If you put them on the side, yeah, it's in the way, but knowing it's wide, you can just put your feet up. And then headroom now. Okay, I have decent enough headroom left compared from the left and right side of the seats. Sitting in the middle, a bit harder, yeah, because of the central armrest. So with that, it here in the second row. We're not done yet. Let's go to the third row. Oh yeah, before I go to the third row, I noticed something immediately before I went down. You can unlock the doors from here and lock it. I said that the other way around, sorry, but yeah, very weird. This is the only car I know that has this feature. And this is how you go to the third row. If you wanna do what that I showed you earlier, to fold the seats down, you can do that. Or if you don't wanna fold the seats to get to the third row, you just pull this latch and the seat will just slide forward, like most PPVs. And then here in the third row, oh, not looking good, I think, because I noticed something immediately. There's protrusion in the floor, similar to a Terra, but this one's like really tall. So there's not much space for your feet. So let's go here in the where the seat up. Oh dear, my feet room is eaten. You can adjust, but the feet room, yeah, it's not good. And then your feet will get eaten up with the floor space here. But knee room is decent at least, and headroom just enough, like just enough, like that much space. And also notice if I can't sit much here because there's a hump here in the ceiling. I only have that much space left. Yeah, the third row might be a bit tight for some. Not much choice as well here in the back. You have tie down hooks when these seats are folded on each side, and then cup holders as well on each side. And then there are coat hangers on each side as well. And one more light. So with that it, so freaking hot, let's go for a drive. So driving the 2020 Ford Everest. Okay, first impressions, it feels like a Ranger, to be honest. Exactly the same. And performance wise, almost the same as well, but different key differences. This one's an SUV, so it feels a bit more heavier than usual, but it still drives like a sedan, like the Ranger. So I'm still very impressed with the driving dynamics, and I finally got to drive a Ford Everest. Yet alone, yes, it may be a base variant, but as you all know, I always ask for base variants on my channel. And yet alone, this is the last ever one in Metro Manila that is for sale. And speaking for sale, when this was brand new, this cost 1,738,000 pesos. Now, this being the demo unit, if you're interested in buying one, this has 600 kilometers already on it. You have a 200,000 peso discount right now. It costs 1,538,000 pesos. So, at this price point, a base Everest, it kind of has all the features already you need. I say this is already worth it. Probably one of the most refined SUVs slash PPVs in its class. I must say it is one of the best in its class as well. Yeah, despite being the base variant, I like this already. Against the competition, like Japanese brands, they are also good, but there's just something about this I like. Driving dynamics, almost everything, comfort, so on and so forth. NVH, this one is excellent. Yeah, despite being the older 2.2 turbo diesel engine, like in the Ranger FX4 I drove earlier, driving dynamics is nearly the same. Yeah, but just you can feel a bit more weight, hence this is an SUV. So let's try sport mode. Okay, yeah, almost the same. Just notice a little bit more delay with the upshift, but downshift is fast. So everything else pretty much the same. Yeah, and just in D mode, there's a little bit of hesitation in the throttle. But once you get going, it gets going. As well, like in the Ford Ranger FX earlier, this engine is really torquey. So, ain't the fastest, but it gets you going. And also the brakes are similar, but I think that just has a bit more travel in it since this is an SUV. But still a progressive brake feel. Probably one of the best brakes, probably in its class. Oops, and I just realized, just trying to floor it, slower paces, trying to keep up, I just even realized I'm already doing at high speeds. So yes, the NVH in here is really excellent as well. I'm surprised, NVH, yeah, it's similar to Ranger. You can hear the engine, but it's not too loud. And this is only the base variants. So I cannot wait to try out the Everest models. I do like the Everest Sport, I did say that earlier. And then going to a corner here. Oh my goodness, it's so good to drive. There's not even much body lean. Yeah, this is kind of pretty much with 2 extra seats and more practical. This is basically the summary of this Everest. But pickup is really good, like slow speed, then throttle, just slight delay only, just D mode. So if we just put in sport mode, that's really torquey and it's brisk enough. Yeah, the power, as I said also, like in the Ranger FX4 review, it might be the most powerful in its class, but the performance is decent enough, I must say. I don't know why this feels a little bit more refined than the Ranger FX4. I have no idea why. Maybe because it's an SUV, as I said. I'm going over humps and bumps. Yeah, you'll feel them, but it's not, there's no bounce. It's not that jittery. Yeah, it will not be the most comfortable one. That still goes to that Japanese brand, but this is the second best. Like over this one, still composed and it's flying. Even at high speeds, it's so composed. There's not, as I said earlier, there's not much body. And the throttle response is also excellent if you're not heavy-footed like me, just being honest. Yeah, I understand now why this is one of the most refined PPVs in its class. I understand now why Kyle Young also has one. He has a titanium, a variant of this Everest. Shout out to him. A somewhat same engine as well with this 2.2. Would I want one? Not this exact one, but if I had the money, I kind of want one anyways. But I do like that Everest Sport with the 2-liter bi-turbo engine, the more powerful one. Because that kind of has FX4 vibe with the black red and the blue color that is actually really good as well. However, if you want this, the last ever trend variant here in the Philippines that is for sale, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is the last one in Metro Manila, this is worth a buy. Let's try it one more time. Let's make a corner really fast. Wow, it's so composed. Yet, still drives like a sedan. It's great to drive. So, that concludes my review of the last ever 2020 Ford Everest trend. I would like to thank Makati Ford, Mrs. Yi, Miss Charissa, Sir Alec, and Miss Sharon for allowing me to review this Ford Everest trend. So, hope you guys like and subscribe. And I will see you with more future car reviews. Bye-bye.